starts with your phone suddenly losing service. You restart it, but nothing changes. Then you notice emails flooding in about password resets for your accounts. Within minutes, someone else controls your online identity, not because they want to be you, but because they want something that you own: your username. In the shadows of the internet, there's a thriving black market where digital identities are bought and sold like rare collectibles. A single word, maybe your first name or a common term, could be worth thousands of dollars, even tens of thousands of dollars. And for those who want these digital assets badly enough, there are people willing to go to extreme lengths to get them. The internet promised infinite space, but social media created artificial scarcity. There can only be one @John on Twitter, one @Pizza on Instagram. This digital real estate became valuable almost immediately, mirroring what happened with domain names in the early days of the web. In 2010, CNN reportedly acquired the Twitter handle @CNNBRK by hiring the owner as a consultant, a creative workaround for Twitter's rules against selling accounts. That same year, the state of Israel allegedly paid a six-figure sum for the @Israel handle. These high-profile acquisitions signaled that usernames had real monetary value. Traders in this space often target three-letter acronyms for their flipping potential. What might initially sell for around $30 can be flipped for hundreds of dollars when businesses seek specific handles that align with their brand. But this quote-unquote opportunistic trading has evolved into a sophisticated underground economy with its own marketplaces, brokers, and acquisition specialists, many operating in very legally dubious territory. The epicenter of this economy is OGUsers.com. OG stands for Original Gangster, but now it's a term used to describe rare, short, or otherwise desirable usernames typically registered by early adopters of platforms. Launched in April 2017, OG Users has grown to over 55,000 registered users who have generated millions of posts. On an average day, about 1,000 users actively participate on the forum. While it has sections for discussing music, gaming, and other topics, its primary purpose is clear. It's a marketplace for buying and selling valuable social media handles. On OG Users, posts regularly appear with high-value usernames for sale. The Instagram account @Bitcoin was listed for $20,000. Another listing advertised @Eternity for $1,000. The Instagram handle @T reportedly sold for around $40,000 in cryptocurrency. But OG Users has a darker reputation beyond just being a trading post. The site features listings advertising Instagram generic and non-generic claims, with prices starting at about $1,500 for non-generic usernames and $10,000 for generic ones, with a turnaround time of just 1 to 7 days. These listings rarely specify exactly how these accounts will be quote-unquote claimed, but the methods are an open secret in this community. The most common method for stealing valuable usernames is something called SIM swapping or SIM hijacking. It's absurdly simple, yet devastatingly effective. A hacker calls your mobile carrier pretending to be you. They claim to have lost their SIM card and need to transfer your phone number to a new card, one they already possess. With some basic personal information, which is often available from data breaches, they can convince the customer service representative to port your number to their SIM. And once they control your phone number, they control everything connected to it. They can bypass two-factor authentication, reset your passwords, and take over your accounts within minutes. Hackers in this space admit that if they get their hands on your phone number, they can take over all your linked accounts in pretty much no time at all. And there's essentially nothing you can do to stop it. The irony is that security measures like two-factor authentication can sometimes make this worse. Services like Instagram require users to provide a phone number when setting up two-factor authentication, but this inadvertently gives hackers another method of attack. If they take over your phone number, they can bypass the very security designed to protect you. Eric Taylor, a former hacker known as Cosmo the God, who now works in security, explained this. Having a phone number linked to any of your online accounts makes you vulnerable to basically 13 to 16-year-old kids taking over your accounts just by taking over your phone within 5 minutes of calling your provider. That's it, 5 minutes. And the methods are evolving. Telecommunications providers have gotten better at preventing simple social engineering attempts. The new approach involves recruiting insiders. A hacker known as Thug described how the process has changed. It used to be as simple as calling up a phone company and telling them to change the SIM card on the number. Now, you need to know people that work there, and they'll give the PIN for literally $100. The These insiders bribed customer support or store employees, make the process significantly faster and easier, according to hackers who use these connections. They can access internal tools to look up subscriber data or perform unauthorized SIM swaps. Another less invasive technique is called turboing, using automated programs to claim usernames the moment they become available. But SIM swapping remains the preferred method for those with the skills and connections to pull it off. In September of 2017, Rachel Ostland was texting with her sister when her phone suddenly lost service. The last message she received was from T-Mobile, informing her that the SIM card for her phone number had been updated. Rachel and her husband Adam soon realized that hackers had taken control of her phone number and were using it to reset passwords on her accounts. They had seized her Instagram account with the handle @Rainbow, along with her Amazon, eBay, PayPal, Netflix, and Hulu accounts. Then, the hackers called. "We're fucking you. We're R-wording you, and we're in the process of destroying your life," one of them told Adam, and they continue. "If you know what's good for you, put your wife on the phone." See, the hackers wanted Rachel's matching Twitter handle @Rainbow. Having both the Instagram and Twitter accounts with the same username would make the package more valuable for resale. Rachel and Adam spent the rest of the night trying to recover their accounts. They got their phone number back from T-Mobile and used it to reset passwords on most services. But the Instagram account was gone. 3 days later, they decided to hunt down the hackers themselves, eventually tracking what they believed to be the hacker's real identity through social media connections. Other victims have similar stories. Banis Poulanakis lost $2,000 after his phone stopped working suddenly. He spent an entire day between T-Mobile and Chase Bank trying to figure out what happened, describing the experience as a complete nightmare. In 2018, Cody Brown, founder of a virtual reality company, lost more than $8,000 in Bitcoin in just 15 minutes after hackers took over his cell phone and used it to access his Coinbase account. Even celebrities aren't immune. In 2017, hackers hijacked Selena Gomez's Instagram account, which had 125 million followers at the time, and posted nude photos of Justin Bieber. According to discussions on OG Users, this was accomplished by simply taking over the phone number associated with her account. The true scale of these attacks is unknown. Cell phone carriers don't share data on how prevalent SIM swapping is, and many victims may not even report the incidents. Like when Lori Craner, a former FTC chief technologist, who herself became a victim in 2016, tried to gather statistics on these attacks. Not a single carrier would provide the numbers. But why take criminality to such a ridiculous level just to steal some usernames? The answer is money. It's always money. But how much are we talking? In the underground market for stolen social media handles, prices vary widely depending on the desirability of the username. Short, single-word usernames, especially generic terms like @car, @sex, or @rainbow, command the highest prices. According to marketplace listings on OG Users, these can sell for anywhere from $500 to $5,000, but particularly valuable handles go for much, much more. 3-letter usernames are also highly prized, so are first names, common nouns, and anything that might be relevant to a brand. The more generic and widely applicable the term, the more valuable it becomes. But what really makes a username especially valuable is having the same handle across multiple platforms. If a hacker can control both @Rainbow on Twitter and on Instagram, they can command a premium price of well over $10,000. But who's paying for that? Sellers on OG Users often brag that their clients include rich elites, big brands, and sometimes even A-list celebrities looking for exclusive digital identities. The most high-profile incident linked to OG Users came in July 2020, when hackers took over numerous high-profile Twitter accounts, including those belonging to Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and other major companies like Apple and Uber. The hackers used these accounts to promote a Bitcoin scam that ended up netting them over $100,000. The mastermind behind the attack, Graham Ivan Clark, was a former member of OG Users. 2 other participants, Mason Shepard and Nima Fazeli, had acted as brokers on the site, selling the Twitter handles. And after this, you'd think the big social media companies were just gonna let it slide, right? But last month, February 2025, Meta filed lawsuits against individuals it accused of selling Instagram handles and unauthorized account reinstatement services. According to the lawsuit, one defendant had been selling Instagram usernames with prices ranging from $700 to up to $50,000. Meta had also accused the defendants of conspiring with Meta contractors to misuse internal appeal channels to to reinstate disabled accounts. This marks the first time that Meta has taken this type of legal action in the US. But they weren't the only ones. Twitter, TikTok, and other platforms have also taken steps to crack down on users involved in trafficking hijacked accounts. Facebook told cybersecurity journalist Brian Krebs that OG users employs various tactics, including harassment, intimidation, hacking, coercion, extortion, SIM swapping, and even swatting. Meanwhile, telecommunications companies have implemented additional security measures, like requiring PINs for number porting and evaluating new methods to verify account changes. T-Mobile has alerted customers about port-out scams and encouraged them to add extra security to their accounts. But for a lot of victims, these efforts just don't cut it. Rachel Ostland never got her @Rainbow Instagram handle back, no matter how many times she complained. And she's not the only one. Plenty of others have the same story. And you might be thinking, should you be one of them? To be honest, for most people, the risk of having a username stolen is relatively low. Hackers typically would only target accounts with significant value. Again, short generic names that could fetch a high price on the black market. If your username is your full name or a random combination of words and numbers, you're probably not on their radar. But if you've got a high value username and a big player decides that they want it, good luck stopping them. As long as there are people willing to pay thousands of dollars for the perfect username, there will be those willing to go extreme lengths to acquire them by any means necessary.